So in this video, we're going to learn the 3 mistakes that every new dirt bike rider makes. So especially when it comes to corners, that is the one thing that riders really struggle with. So these 3 mistakes are all going to be related to cornering. So the first mistake riders make is they sit right over the back of the bike. The reason they do this instinctively is they think if you're over the rear wheel, you're going to get more traction and you're going to have more power. And that means you're going to be able to ride faster, but that is not always the case. The reality is actually the opposite. Because when you're sat in the back, you have less control over the bike and less control over the handling. So why is this? The first reason is when we're sat back here and we try and grab hold of the handlebars, our arms are fully extended. And if I grab a handful of gas or a handful of throttle, suddenly I will fall off the back of the bike and I will whiskey throttle because my arms are already falling back. So what you want to do to stop this is you want to be sat up here, and when I'm gassing, I'm not falling off the back of the bike, I'm staying central. And I'm also able to squeeze the bike with my legs, and that means I'm less likely to fall backwards. The other reason we don't want to sit at the back of the bike is from this position, we have no range of motion when it comes to steering. If I try and turn the steering wheel, I'm almost falling off the stand, but when I try and turn the steering wheel, it's very hard for me to turn the bars. If I sit up towards the front of the bike, I suddenly have full range of motion with my steering. So really we're aiming to sit at the front, and the furthest back we want to be is the middle of the seat. Any further back and that's going to really obstruct your steering. So the second mistake that every new dirt bike rider makes is they try and brake as late as possible and they try and brake as aggressive as possible. Now, it might look quite cool and fast when the rear wheel's locked up and the bike's going sideways, but the reality is you're making mistakes, you're tiring yourself out, and you're actually losing time. So you may gain a slight bit of time going into the corner, but then you're going to lose time going around the corner, and you're going to lose even more time when you exit that turn and go down the next straight. So what we want to do is we want to brake a little bit earlier, a little bit softer, and allow for that smooth turn and that fast exit. So in order to brake, we want to be in the attack position, and we want to use the front and the rear brake at the same time, and we want to be using them gentle. We don't want to be stomping on the brakes because that's going to mean the bike's going to go side to side, and we're going to waste energy and we're going to waste time. So the third mistake that every new dirt bike rider makes is when they go around a turn, they enter the turn as far on the inside as possible. So they go down the straight on the inside and make the corner really tight and really difficult for themselves. Logically, it makes sense that you want to make the turn as short as possible because that's going to be the fastest, right? Well, no, the reality is actually quite different. When we do a turn, we want to make the turn a sweeper. So we want to come in on the outside of the straight and make the turn less sharp. That means less G-force. We're less likely going to be pulled off the side of the bike, and it allows just for a smoother turn. So sometimes the longer way around the turn is actually the faster way around the turn. If you've ever watched go-karting or Formula One, you'll notice the racing line is going down the straight on the far outside and then cutting in to the tight part of the turn. And it's the same when you're dirt biking. You want to make that turn a sweeper and S into it. Okay, so if you found this video useful, please subscribe to our channel and watch the other video here that can help you with your riding.